Welcome to Retire ATL with Aaron Vincent and Matt Decker. Aaron and Matt are part of the team at Vincent Financial Group, an Atlanta area firm that focuses on preparing people for retirement. They're also popular radio and podcast show hosts. And now it's time for Retire ATL.
Matt Decker, how do you stay ahead of these changing and help out the families you serve?
Well, it's certainly tough because there are a lot of challenges. I think the biggest one that she mentioned there at the end is probably the sandwich generation. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe you've got older kids who are still kind of on the payroll, as they say, and you might also be taking care of your parents, and that's a tough place to be. I mean, we've had several clients in the last probably 2 months that are, coming in saying, I don't know what to do about, taking care of my parents. It's going to cost me $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month. I think we have some paying $10,000 a month for memory care.
And they're still paying for college.
And they're still paying for college, and they got kids on the payroll. And we talk about the difference between being rich and being wealthy earlier. Well, one of the things that can erode your wealth faster than just about anything is going to be in that sandwich generation, taking care of parents, long-term care, memory care type planning. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things to be concerned about. And certainly if you don't have a plan, I can imagine that, you're feeling the heat, so to speak. If you don't have a plan for your money, if you don't know where you're going to get your income from, if you don't know how much risk you should be taking or when you should file for Social Security, maybe you don't have a plan for long-term care, or you have parents that are going to be dealing with long-term care, it can get overwhelming.
Is that one of the most overlooked aspects that you deal with? I heard that taxes and long-term care.
I think it is overlooked, but I don't think it's overlooked because people don't know about it. I think it's one of those topics that people just don't want to go. They don't want to go there because it's not pleasant. It's not fun. They know it's going to be expensive, and it just feels like one of those situations where you're like, maybe if I just don't think about it, it's like avoiding the doctor. Maybe if I just don't go to the doctor, I won't get bad news. Long-term care kind of feels like that, where nobody really wants to talk about it. We have people coming to the office and they're like, I got a plan for long-term care. Martha's going to take me out back and put a bullet in me. And it's like, okay, that's great, but I doubt it.
Co-sign on that.
No.
This is one of my favorite topics when people
long-term
come to
care?
the office. Well, just this whole idea of the unknown and what's it going to cost and what does it mean? Because I think it's one where we can offer or help our clients achieve the biggest peace of mind. It's like that sigh of relief happens a lot around this conversation. I think it's because, to your point, Matt, everyone's aware of it. The rising cost of healthcare, long-term care, aging parents,
inflation.
Meanwhile, the cost of living is increasing. And all of that, and so it feels like a big, giant, nebulous problem, but it's not as popular in mainstream media or in news. You open up your phone, you're going to hear a lot more or read a lot more about current markets, or you're going to hear maybe some more about taxes. That's just more kind of mainstream. You don't hear a lot about how to care for your aging parents while you're still paying for college. I've never seen that article before.
You don't hear a lot about planning.
Right.
You hear a lot about fear, what you should be worried about, what you should be scared of.
That doesn't get the clicks.
Right.
That's right.
Nobody wants to click on have a great plan. They're like, I don't know. And that seems like a lot.
When we say planning, and the reason why I say I like this topic when it comes up in our meetings is because what we really mean is we can model out those scenarios for you. We can actually use the tools that we use in our process to show you, okay, let's actually model. Matt, you mentioned some numbers, $8,000 or $10,000 a month. We recently had somebody in our office who it wasn't their parents, it was their sister. They're caring for their elderly sister. And it was $10,000 a month for the care that she was needing for memory care.
Crazy.
It's wild. And so, meanwhile, they've got kids in college. Or I should say, I think their grandkids are in college. The point is, they don't know how to solve this problem. And so, we can actually model out, okay, $10,000 is going to be earmarked for this, and let's go ahead and assume inflation is this much, and the cost of healthcare increases per year by this much, and let's also factor in the cost of college, and oh, by the way, your own monthly budget in retirement. We can actually model those things and kind of turn the heat up, as it were, on what if inflation goes up by this much?
Yeah.
What if, during this season, there's also a recession? Or whatever in your mind is concerning you, whatever what if you want to see what it would look like. We can kind of build that out as a scenario in our software and show you what it looks like and show you if or when those things happen. Here are the 2 or 3 things we're going to advise you to do to make sure you can still afford it.
And here's what it's going to mean for you. If those couple things happen, if inflation is more than expected, if you have a long-term care event, here's how you are actually affected. Here's how it changes how much you can spend, how much you leave behind.
Yeah.
Like, here's the actual real numbers of what your situation looks like if something goes